You need to try this Baby Boomer Ombre nail set. It's soft, classy, and beginner friendly, but with just the right touch of sparkle. Let me show you how I get this flawless blend using Polygel. Starting with cuticle prep, I'm pushing back my cuticles using a cuticle pusher. Then going in with my Melody Susie e-file and a ball bit to gently lift the dead skin from the nail plate. Next, I'm switching to a sanding band to further clean up the cuticle area. If I were keeping these nails on long term, I'd also likely buff the entire nail plate to help with adhesion. But since I'll be using a peel base, I'm skipping that step. Once my cuticle area is fully prepped, I'm using a cuticle nipper to carefully remove any dead skin. Then I'm applying my peel base, which starts with rubbing a cuticle oil into the nails. Next, I'm applying gel top coat over all the nails. I did 2 layers, curing each layer for 30 seconds. After curing, I'm wiping off the shiny layer with a lint-free wipe to prep for application. And I always forget to do this, but not today. I'm applying sunscreen to my hands because I'll be using my nail lamp a lot and it's important to protect my skin from UV exposure. I'm using long ballerina nail tips from Amazon and I need to make sure they fit perfectly from sidewall to sidewall for a seamless application. To apply them, I'm using gel base coat. I apply it to the well of the nail tip, then place it on my nail and flash cure for 15 seconds. Once all the nails are on, I do a full cure of 30 seconds to secure them in place. Now that my tips are applied, I'm using my sanding band to lightly buff the surface and remove the shine. This helps the next layer adhere better. To remove the dust, I'm wiping down my nails with a lint-free wipe and rubbing alcohol before moving on to the next step. Now I'm applying a thin, even layer of gel base coat to all the nails and curing for 30 seconds, and then we're ready for the polygel. Now I'm just getting everything ready before I start. I placed down my paper towel, dampened dish, spatula, polygel brush, and poured some rubbing alcohol into my dish. This is what I'll be using as my slip solution. I always make sure to clean my brush before using it to avoid any dried product messing up my application. So these are the polygels I'll be using. They're all from Makartt, which is perfect for beginners because they're easy to work with. So at first I tried the Wisp of White, which is a milky white from Makartt. It didn't look bad, but it just wasn't the look I was going for. It was a little too sheer for the classic baby boomer effect. So instead, I decided to switch to a pure white polygel, also from Makartt, and it made a huge difference. The ombre looked way more defined and gave that true baby boomer look. Now that you've seen how both white polygels look on the thumbnail, I'm going to go in depth with application so beginners can easily follow along and learn how to create a baby boomer ombre nail set. It's actually really simple to do once you understand the blending process. First, I'm applying the pure white polygel to the tip area. The goal here is to keep it concentrated on the tip while making sure the product fully covers the free edge. You don't want to drag it down too far yet, since we'll be blending it into the nail bed later. Next, I'm using my brush to distribute the polygel evenly across the tip, making sure to cover the entire tip area without over applying. Then I flip my finger over and gently taper in the sides of the nail. This helps maintain the ballerina shape without making the sides too bulky. With Makartt Polygel, you don't have to rush, it stays in place well and doesn't self-level too quickly. Once I'm happy with the placement, I start smoothing the polygel across the nail. Here's an important tip. Use a very light hand to avoid creating dents in the surface. When you're distributing and tapering, you can use a bit more pressure, but when smoothing, you want to be extra gentle. Now that the white polygel is placed and smooth, I'm removing any excess product from the nail to keep the shape clean and even. I carefully clean it up before blending. Next, I softly blend the white polygel into the nail bed area. The key here is to feather it lightly so that when we apply the nude polygel later, the transition looks smooth and natural. You don't want a harsh line between the white and the nude, just a soft fade to make blending easier in the next step. Before curing, I always check the nail from multiple angles to make sure I like the shape, smoothness, and blend. Doing this now helps me avoid extra filing later. Once everything looks good, I cure the nail for 30 seconds to fully set the white layer. Now it's locked in place and ready for the ombre blend. Moving on to the pinky nail, I follow the same steps, applying, distributing, smoothing, and perfecting before curing. Now I'm applying the nude polygel to the nail bed area. I start with a small bead and focus on distributing it evenly at the base of the nail. I make sure the cuticle area looks neat. Luckily, Makartt polygel doesn't flood the cuticles easily, so it stays in place well. One important thing when working near the cuticle, you want to feather the polygel out lightly so there is not too much bulk in that area. This helps keep the nails looking natural and prevents a thick, lumpy cuticle area. Next, I bring the nude polygel down the nail slightly and create a soft line across the nail where it will blend into the white. I also make sure the sides of the nail are tapered so that there isn't too much product at the edges. This helps maintain a clean, crisp shape. Once I'm happy with the placement, I'm ready to start blending the nude into the white to create that seamless ombre effect. To blend, I gently feather the nude polygel into the white, using soft, light strokes so the transition looks smooth. The key here is to not overwork it. You want the colors to fade naturally into each other without streaking or harsh lines. Before curing, I do a final check to make sure the cuticle area is clean and the blend looks seamless. Once everything is set, I cure for 30 seconds. Moving on to the pinky nail, I follow the exact same steps. For the index nail, I'm doing a slightly more advanced design. Don't worry, it's still really simple. If you can do a baby boomer ombre, you can definitely do this. Instead of applying the white polygel to the tip, I'm placing it closer to the middle of the nail, keeping the tip area clear. I apply a bead of the white polygel to the middle and distribute it evenly in that section, kind of creating a box shape in the center of the nail. Now I'm blending the white polygel in both directions. First, I'm fading it downward into the tip, which was a little tricky because I had less room to blend. I had to use short, precise strokes to keep the tip mostly clear while still getting a nice fade. I also make sure to maintain the nail's shape while blending so I don't lose the sleek ballerina look. Next, I blend the white polygel into the nail bed area to create a seamless transition for the ombre. Once I'm happy with how it looks, I cure for 30 seconds. Now I'm applying the nude polygel at the nail bed area and distributing it around the cuticle area. Then I softly fade it down into the white polygel just like a standard ombre, and I cure again for 30 seconds. I also did the same technique on the ring finger to balance the design. So I heard about this nail hack that says if you apply a thin layer of milky white polygel over an ombre, it's supposed to make the blend look even softer. I was curious, so I decided to test it out on my pinky nail. Here is a side-by-side comparison, one with the milky white overlay and the other without. And honestly, I don't see a difference, but let me know what you all think in the comments. Do you see a difference, or is this hack a myth? Now I'm encapsulating each nail using Makartt Clear Polygel to protect the ombre blend while filing. Since clear polygel can sometimes move around, I make sure to maintain the nail's shape as I apply it. Then I cure each nail for 30 seconds to fully set the encapsulation. Once the nails are fully cured, I'm using rubbing alcohol to wipe off the sticky inhibition layer before moving on to filing. I start with my 8080 grit hand file to crisp up the shape. Then go in with a sanding band for a smoother finish. Finally, I buff the surface of the nails to remove any scratches and prep for top coat. At this point, I decided I wanted to add some glitter to the nails. So I grabbed my star-shaped nail palette from Temu, some diamond dust glitter, and gel top coat. I mixed the top coat and glitter together and applied it to the underside of the index and ring nails so the clear area would have a sparkle effect. I cured for 30 seconds, but I realized I should have placed the glitters inside the nail before encapsulating. That would have made it pop more, but don't worry, I found a fix for that later. Next, I applied top coat to all the nails and cured for 30 seconds. But when I looked at the nails, I noticed that the glitter under the clear nail wasn't popping as much as I hoped. So to fix that, I applied more of the diamond dust glitter on top of the nail, then used my ombre brush to lightly fade it into the nail before curing. I was a little out of frame here, sorry about that, but after curing, the glitter placement looked way better like this. Now for the final touch, I'm applying rhinestone glue to the nail to create a smile line where I'll be placing rhinestones and silver caviar beads. Once I'm happy with the placement, I cure. I repeated the same process on the ring nail, then applied another layer of rhinestone glue and a top coat over the caviar beads to ensure everything stays in place before curing again. And here's the final look. I love how this set turned out. The classic baby boomer ombre, the clear tip accent nails with diamond dust shimmer, and of course the rhinestone details for that perfect touch of glam. Let me know in the comments what do you think about this set, and would you try the clear tip ombre technique? Also, did you all see any difference with the milky white hack, or was that a myth? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe so you don't miss any future nail tutorials. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys!